Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. We are from BA 2445B. We are doing assignment 2, Enterprise Resource Planning or PM 632, and we will be presenting the challenges of ERP in SMEs.
What is ERP? Enterprise Resource Planning or ERP is a system of integrated software application that standardizes, streamlines, and integrates business process across finance, human resource, procurement, distribution, and other departments. Typically, ERP systems operate on an integrated software platform using common data definition operating on a single database. What is a small and mid-sized enterprise or SME? Small and mid-sized enterprise are businesses that maintain revenues, assets, or a number of employees below a certain threshold. Each country has its own definition of what constitutes a small and medium-sized enterprise. Certain size criteria must be met, and occasionally the industry in which the company operates in is taken into account as well. Though small and mid-sized enterprises play an important role in the economy. They outnumber large firms considerably, employ vast numbers of people, and are generally entrepreneurial in nature, helping to shape innovation. ERP implementation in SMEs. Today, there are a wide variety of automation tools and techniques designed and devised to help SMEs and their employees produce their products better and more efficiently. There are excellent tools like Six Sigma Quality, Factory Automation, designed for manufacturability, and others with enormous potential, but none of them will ever yield their full potential unless they are coupled with effective forecasting, planning, and scheduling process. Enterprise resource planning is the answer, which is a direct outgrowth and extension of manufacturing resource planning.
This article is about ERP implementation challenges in small and medium enterprise, framework and case study. Based on previous research, extremely high cost and complex implementation of the system, most of SMEs company cannot afford and adapt with ERP system. Low level of technology and skilled manpower. Mostly SMEs company just focus on company survival in short term, not focusing on long term. Based on case analysis, lack of expertise in the company. SMEs did not utilize ERP system because they have zero knowledge. For the next article is about critical issues across the ERP lifecycle in small and medium-sized enterprise. Experience from a multiple case study. The first problem is non-suitable package of ERP system. Companies pay for the system that they cannot use because of non-suitable package. Next is insufficient training on implemented system. Workers does not have enough knowledge about ERP systems. Lack of network between internal employees and external consultants. System competencies cannot be increased without good networking of workers and ERP systems consultants.
Next article is Implementation and Challenge of ERP, the case of SME of handmade chocolate makers in Malaysia. The first challenge is poor quality of testing, poor top management commitment and support. This is because of desire for unrealistic top management goals. Secondly is conflict with the consultants. Misunderstanding is behind the reasons that the conflict between users and consultants. Next article is exploring the challenge impacted SMEs to adopt cloud ERP. The first challenge is data security issues in this article. While using ERP, users doubt the degree of protection that can protect their company data. Next challenge is trust on cloud ERP. SME users are fearful of the consistency and accessibility with the new technology of ERP. Thirdly, the challenge is systems availability. Users need to provide bandwidth, package, and download to consider deciding factors that led to device availability. And lastly, the challenge is external pressure. Various pressure have made the users need to recruit consultants and develop their ERP adoption.
Based on article challenges of cloud ERP system, first is customization and integration limitation, which offers the ERP solution in package with limited customization. Next is functionality limitation, which with the time passing, traditional ERP system gain more stability. Finally, organizational challenges, which process implementing cloud ERP system may face organizational challenge rather than technical challenge. Next article is challenges for management control in SME. First is top management, where ERP is based on process but employee don't know what the process are. Next is administration, where there is a lot of data for different kind of management control purposes, but there is no people to do that. Finally, is production, where ERP system breakdown where data is required in production cannot be obtained from the ERP system.
So the next article is ERP software challenges facing by small and medium enterprises. This article focuses on the general perception of SMEs that ERP systems today are best suited for large-scale enterprises due to the high cost of ownership, the complexity of implementation, and the subsequent maintenance costs. These are the important elements for some of the top challenges small business have to face during ERP implementation. First is complex, second is budget limitation, third is not enough human resource, fourth is SME is too busy, and the last one is staff is resistant to change. Okay, so this article is about the top challenges for ERP implementation in SMBs. This article is focused on three major elements which are included customization, the users, and investment in internal hardware. So it is true that ERP software once belonged to large business and a handful of smaller firms that were willing to invest the time and money in these hulking systems. However, ERP got its own pros and cons.
Next article is the challenges and success factor of ERP system in Australian SMEs. The challenges are inadequate end user training, where SME have insufficient training of ERP system. It will always underestimated in terms of budget, time and resources. Secondly is ineffective communication, where SME have no prior experience with large IT project, so it is difficult for them to identify key contact person in different departments. Thirdly is the availability of skilled resources, where SME generally do not have technical and business specialists within the organizations. For the next article, the challenges are communication. SME mode and medium of communication are not always well structured. Secondly is the scope of project implementation and strategy. Many projects going down the drain which were not properly scoped and expectation were not set right at the initial state. Thirdly is the customization, where tampering with standard ERP package and practice becomes very critical. In SMEs, they find that it is hard to have customization and think that SME are incompetent to the ERP system requirement.
Challenges of ERP implementation in SMEs. First is awareness. Most of the time, SMEs do not even know what ERP systems are and what they can do with it. Second is perception. SMEs have the perception that ERP is meant only for large firms. Third is earlier implementation. SMEs have heard of much publicized failure in ERP implementation which have led firms to bankruptcy. Fourth is cost. SMEs have less of capital than their larger counterparts. Fifth is change management. This results in the system being put in place but not being used effectively due to people not ready to accept the change. Sixth is limited resource. Most SMEs do not have an in-house IT team. Firstly, SMEs have low ability to access the market and finance. After that, SMEs have low level of technology. Furthermore, SMEs lack of labor and skilled manpower. Moreover, the challenge is the SME work culture. Lastly, SMEs focus only on survival rather than growth.
Last but not least, for the conclusion, there are many challenges that usually faced by SMEs organizations. Much of this interest has been directed to various aspects of ERP system implementation. The result of these studies have revealed many complexities and challenges in the implementation process. Companies need to find a way on how to overcome the challenges of implementing these ERP systems. This is because a lot of benefits from implementing an ERP system for any small or large organization. The main reason is reducing the cost, and next it can increase companies' profits in long term. ERP system also can provide SMEs with such benefit as improved information visibility, optimized business process, effective communication, and productivity improvement. Once SMEs has determined that these benefits are crucial for their growth, they will not delay in implementing an ERP system.
That's all from us. Thank you for watching.